is that the level of political instability is much more uncertain than at any point in recent memory. And that's true, as Mohammed said, from the top down, and it's also true from the bottom up. We experienced it the first time after 9/11, the extraordinary overreaction. The second time, the 2008 financial crisis. And you know, there was a period after that crisis, it was the worst recession we've seen since the Great Depression. After that, you go to China, you talk to the Chinese leaders, and they were saying, I don't know about this dollar as the reserve currency. But the third, and by far the most important, is the never-ending, extremely expensive US election. Billions of dollars, unprecedentedly negative, resulting in the surprise election, a surprise even to the candidate. With that, the Pax Americana is over now. There is no question this is going to fragment the way we think about the global economy. We've been used to, for 25 years, we thought we're living in a global free market. Some inefficiencies, some excesses, some corruption. I'm not pointing to you for any reason on that. I'm just saying some, right? But now we're clearly talking about a hybrid economy. So you're going to see America's Southeast Asian allies all move in the direction that the Philippines President Duterte moved under Obama, which is if the future is more China, we need to make that move earlier and get leverage out of it. You won't see that from Japan. You probably won't see it from South Korea. Those are countries that need the American defense relationship. In Europe, it's completely different. Merkel's response to Trump's election looked nothing like Abe's. It was, congratulations, Mr. Trump. We are looking forward to working with you as long as you continue to uphold the values that are important in our historic relationship. So clearly, the transatlantic relationship much weaker in this environment, and the Europeans are going to be looking after themselves. Here in the Middle East, I've only been here for 2 days, but it's been very clear there are a lot of people that hope that Trump is going to be better for this region. Part of that is because Obama has not been great for this region. Final point, China. From China's perspective, they don't want trouble right now, but if trouble comes, they'll respond. And we do need to understand that there is the potential for conflict in this environment that is greater than it was just a year ago. Effectively, top down, we are now going to be entering the first major geopolitical recession of our lifetimes. The bottom up is all this populism. It's all these weak leaders. There's no question that over the course of the last 2 generations, globalization has had a backlash. Don't think of this populism as a global trend, because it's not global, at least not yet. Political apathy was the dominant force in the American elections, not pro-Trump, not anti-Trump, not pro or anti-Hillary. It was, we don't care, Washington is not relevant to us. This, by the way, is a real advantage to a country like the Emirates. Because what you're seeing is that the political stickiness, the connections in the world today are becoming more decentralized. It's connections to your mayors, sometimes your governors, who are closer to you. Places that are working are globalized cities, like Boston and Pittsburgh and New York and San Francisco and LA and London and Singapore and Abu Dhabi and Dubai. That's the future of governance. Final couple of points around this. Japan, no populism, right? World's 3rd largest economy. Their population is shrinking. So even though the economy is flat, per capita income's going up. No economic populism. China, 35 years of almost 10% on average growth, strong top-down leadership, middle class getting stronger, eventually population topping off, almost no populism. This wave of globalization has been about labor moving to emerging markets, allowing a global middle class to rise. The next wave of globalization is technology displacing jobs. There are three ways to respond. Way number one, you change your government policies and you actually create a new social contract for the people that are suffering. Number two, ignore it. Hope it goes away. You don't have the ability to deal with it, your country falls apart. Third possibility, your government recognizes the problem, for various economic or political reasons can't effectively address it, but is strong enough to stay in power. What do you do then? You separate yourself from the population that causes trouble. This is the Israel-Palestine solution. Israel doesn't want to deal with the Palestinian population, doesn't need the labor anymore, so you just wall them off. Now, which of those three things is going to happen? It depends on where you are. If you are a developed, wealthy country or a relatively strong emerging market, democratic or authoritarian, you are either going to fix the social contract, success, or you're going to wall off the population, create permanent inequality. If you are a brittle authoritarian regime, or you're an emerging market with weak political capital, you will either wall off the population or you will fail. And this is going to happen fast. And the Middle East is right in front of this.